didn't hear party politics in the song that much.
I was gonna say I did.
What?
And off initial impact. No, like just totally like I'm admitting that there was a prejudice there.
Don't come at him crazy for turning out to be the he was.
We've lived enough life to know how this woman is going to turn out.
Right.
I think it's not going to go well. Human being to a mob, what's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to an unbeliever who doesn't believe in anything?
The hierarchy was the non-believer.
Here we go again.
We're live. We're live.
Yes.
We're here. We're doing it again because
goatees.
y'all don't even know what just happened.
Y'all know.
Y'all don't even know, but
Podcast
we're here now.
Clef just slayed that intro and it's gone.
Yo, whatever y'all think about how I say what's about to come next, just understand I probably did it better. In a different take.
Okay.
Either way. But so we go get serious right here. It's a man out there, Oliver Anthony, or Oliver Anthony Music. You may have heard him go viral on Instagram/YouTube in the past week or two about his song Richmond North of Richmond. Okay. And I have to personally say this is a song that I loved out the gate.
Yeah.
To the point where I commented on like Justin Danger Nunley.
Well, I don't know how much of that might cut. Okay.
I'm not gonna play all of it.
I was like, ugh.
So that guy, but I got top comment on that because I put out a comment on it that basically that, man, if you over 35, this must really hit hard. And in the same comment I said, if you're over 50, this is probably bringing you to tears. Now, and then obviously that rang with a lot of people because for one, the song rang with a lot of people. So, and then just as a side note, I know I got like 1% of 5% of comments where people were like kind of taking exception to my comment because they were like under 25 and acting as if like that, man, this under 25 generation. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but but I was like, I can feel this. I don't need to be 35 and 50 to feel this. I was like, I never said you couldn't fit it. I was never excluding you.
Yeah, we weren't even talking about them.
Right.
If I say I'm hungry, it doesn't mean that you're starving.
Exactly. I was like,
what?
I was speaking towards what I am. I'm a person over 35. I know a lot of people over 50. And on top of that, they were here 30, 40, 50 years ago who've seen a different world than they live now, which is kind of what that song's about, being sarcastic. So on top of that, so I was just like, no disrespect to the 25-year-olds and the 19-year-olds, 70-year-olds that commented it like, that's why I can feel this. I don't need to be there. I was just like, dude, sure. But the simple fact is, I was saying they definitely feel some sort of way because they were present on God's earth.
Yeah. They know the difference. They have a perspective. I mean, I'll say you're nice. I'll give all disrespect. All disrespect. If you were not alive, the song itself cannot exist without perspective.
Right.
You cannot write that song at 17 or 18 because you don't have enough. Everything is new to you.
You ain't did it.
You still got bills. You don't know about William.
You don't. Yeah. When
they come. Oh man, big boy.
The offense is dumb for sure. I get the sentiment of like, oh, I can feel this, like I can understand this, but like, yeah, to your point, it's not like you were excluding it.
Yeah, not excluding anybody. If you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about the world he lives in now versus what he used to live in, the work conditions, what the dollar's worth, things like that, how welfare is, everything. Exactly. You're like, I'm sorry, over 35, you've probably put 15 plus years into your Social Security. You've worked that long. The people over 50 have worked 30 years.
30 plus.
Yeah.
To see their dollar buy a gallon of gas to now buy a quarter gallon of gas. Nationally, by the way. We're not talking about Californians who are bleeding dry, not to get a fifth with $1
crazy.
of gas. So, I drive electric though. But anyway, no, because of that, I wanted to pose the question because what happened after that was there was this like immediate push to associate him with party politics, especially the right, the red states, situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, personally, I don't get into leaning as far as what I'm like. I like a logical discussion
Are you
about
a blood or a Crip? Gang. Where you?
you should not associate that. Stricken from you should not associate those things. Should not associate those things. But what I'm saying is, I didn't hear party politics in the song that much.
I was gonna say I did.
What?
And off initial impact. No, like just totally like I'm admitting that there was a prejudice there. I think that naturally when I hear anybody talking about like living in a new world with an old soul and anything that's like glorifying like the past and the way things were, I think naturally that does lend itself to like, oh, you're probably not progressive. You're probably not like, you know, like, so I think that that's sort of what implied that maybe I think that along with the accent and the beard and which goes to show again, prejudice. People aren't like, it's not the nuance of the lyrics or like what's specifically being said so much as it's just like you associate the twang, you associate all that stuff with like.
It's the redhead, it's the guitar, it's the green setting, greenery background of the country. Yeah. It's the bellowing singing from the belly.
No,
you know,
that's a good point what you just said, Jordan, because like honestly, the way it was presented to me the first time, if I'm being honest, it was presented as a reaction. It was reaction videos on it. So I was maybe more so like apt to listen to the lyrics because, okay, it's being presented like these lyrics are having an emotional effect. And then the people are being so dramatic and over dramatic and like crying in the reaction videos. I'm like, okay, let me just hear the song. So I'm more intently listening to the lyrics because of that. But had it been something to where I just heard it, just saw the video, no introduction, like the one that you saw, Clef. If I would have seen that where the guy just says, listen, that's
just
it.
Listen,
I would have maybe jumped to conclusions.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's interesting to like think about that. It's like, oh, okay, so I kind of was set up for more artistic success.
Right.
Because I was just like, okay, well, what is he saying?
That
right.
makes sense.
If these people are crying, why?
Yeah, and I you know, and we prior to this recording of this video, we took it apart as far as like a brief, you know, analysis of the lyrics, and we were just like, like we came to that same agreement that we all got when we watched it. It's like it was more anti-capitalism.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't think any party owns personally.
That's interesting.
So I think both parties are.
I feel like each party is branded differently.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
they're capitalists.
That's what we're talking about, the Richmond, north of Richmond. So people who are actually in different government offices and everything. So they can maybe try to ascribe to the public that they're anyway, but they're going driving home in really nice cars.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, and it's I mean, you know, and he gets into how welfare is adjusted, who's using it, what they're spending the welfare on, how this abuse system, things like that. This is not news. Like, you know, I've never disagreed with that myself. It's like there's abuse in almost every system that is meant to benefit someone less fortunate because there are creative minds out there. Everybody's so creative. Yeah. Look at me steal all this money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't need it. But it's free because I lied about my taxes. So, you know, shit like that. Like, and that's, you know, there are people out there who need that welfare, and there's people out there who don't. And
which is, I mean, I don't want to get down another rabbit hole.
We're not going down that hole.
But I will say, the only thing I will say is like, you know, I don't want to also and this might be something that I disagree with him in the song. I don't want to demonize people stealing on a low level and just like kind of breezing past people stealing on a completely higher level. And whatnot. Right. It's like, we're stealing a little bit of welfare. You're stealing millions.
Right. The thing is, and that's
like,
a perspective
calm
too.
Down.
You got some people that are like, you know, what do you call it? Absolutists, where they're just like, stealing is stealing on no matter the level. And I'm like, it is.
Nah, because there's a dollar amount associated with it.
But
a misdemeanor is different than a felony.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, stealing is stealing no matter what level. Yeah. The consequences and the repercussions are not the same on every level. Yeah. So that's why we have different sentences. Right. I'm sorry. Like it's like why you're probably going to get a misdemeanor for stealing a Twix versus you're going to Grand Theft Auto is either Well, depending on what your skin color is, we can go back to that.
Oh Lord, see, I shouldn't have said nothing.
Hey, we going down there because the thing is, you will end up in jail for certain places. So let's not even
go there.
Let's not.
I don't want to go there.
Jesus Christ!
Is
All
that your
right,
new song?
so I'm gonna pose this question now for you as well. What do you do? I say it that way.
Yeah.
What do you do when a song you like or love conflicts with your morals or beliefs? And I'm going to just say, as an asterisk, I'm not saying this song does. I'm just saying, once I saw
thank you
how
for clarifying that.
I'm not saying the song does. I'm just saying that this song, the way it was hijacked by the conservative right, made me feel like I didn't understand the lyrics, you know, for a minute.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back. We'll cap this off with what really happened recently, because Oliver Anthony actually had some words recently that will clear all of that up.
So I'll say this. So even in the context of this song, right? Like off initial impact, even with my assumptions and all that, I still was like, but this is some dope shit though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if you can evoke emotion and if you could clearly articulate your perspective in a way that makes me feel something,
right,
I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Granted, there's certain things, if you're glorifying murder, but even, I mean, Eminem would talk about crazy shit.
I mean,
and he'd be like, yo,
Eminem
like,
is talking about killing his mama, raping his mama. Let's not even go there.
I think that there's artistic license, and I think that it's totally subjective, but like, if it's good, is really what it comes down to. Like, if you do it well in a way that makes me go like, yo, like, that shit was art. That was craftsmanship. Then I naturally go like, yeah, I don't agree with that. I'm triggered by that.
Yeah.
But like, I can't deny how excellent it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think that as somebody who grew up, I think all of us, if you like any type of gangster rap, if you like any type of thing that's just street orientated, it's like you kind of develop this double-mindedness towards it. Like if you really had to think about the lyrics, you'd be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not about to actually shoot somebody. But, you know, you're just I like the way this sound. And like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of this weird place where you put those lyrics and where you actually live.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. I mean, in a sidebar comment, just because you're saying that, I'm not going to get off topic, but.
Don't go too crazy.
Man, I love my black women.
Uh-oh.
But boy.
Uh-oh.
If y'all actually live the life of whatever the rapper song you're singing, you would have him prosecuted.
Oh yeah, nah, it's horrible.
Yeah,
that's like you. I've accused people in this house of just being like, if this was real, and this was you,
Jordan.
Like, what are you going to, like, how do you feel about that? And it's a totally different question. I'm not going to put y'all out there, but I'm not going to say y'all can't enjoy music and stuff like that. But, you know, y'all quick to get on people when they, like, my thing is, like, when it comes to, like, people like DaBaby and stuff, I'm like, man, I would just keep it 100. Like, don't come at him crazy for turning out to be the nigga he was. Like that's, I never liked that. It was just that's like, funny. He did this, and I was like, he rapped about it. Like,
so some might argue that the arrangement matters, right? Some might argue that certain songs, you are almost like hypnotized. You're so hypnotized by the track and the vibe that you're not even really fully processing what's being said, right? Oh, yeah. Versus a song like the one in question, not the one in question, but the one we're discussing, where it's just a guitar and it's like very clear, like, hey guys, listen to these lyrics. Right. I'm making a statement and I want you to judge your, you know, how much you like this song based on what's being said. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit, I put it in a different category than maybe a record where, you know, sweat drop down my balls, you know what I'm saying? It's like, where it's not, clearly the focal point is not the lyrical content. You know what I'm saying? So I would say they are in two different categories.
That line hit me.
What?
I relate to that. You haven't been in hot clubs
Dude,
in Atlanta.
I was about to say, like, I
was
don't have
like-
a lot of problem with those lyrics. To the
That was
windows,
a bad example.
to the walls,
Yeah.
to the strap down my.
I was like, oh wow, that's very
that was
specific.
a bad
but
example.
I understood
like-
them. Like I got it.
I feel like we've
Yeah,
all
it
been in
was
the
a little
situation.
awkward.
That was a bad example.
It was
You know what I'm
slightly
saying?
awkward,
Like-
but I was like, yeah. It's a little moist in here, guys. Thanks for.
I mean,
no, but actually, okay. So just
So what's your answer? What you say?
No, there's.
Did you have a song like
I
that?
got several. I actually have a playlist of songs to where it's like I got like the forbidden playlist. Like I'm a musician, but I also
And an actor.
No, I know, right? I was thinking it. But I'm also a Christian and whatnot, and so like there's certain songs I'm like, dang, this is crazy as hell. But the percussion in the song is also crazy as hell. Like, I mean, and sometimes for me it'll be like, you talking about morally, there'll be like different things. Like there's one of the most beautiful written songs I've heard is by Def Cat for Cutie. Some people know this song. It's like I'll Follow You Into the Dark. And then the song is beautiful. Do you know the song? It's beautifully written, but I listen to the lyrics.
My white friends in Boston.
Oh yeah, maybe, man, you gotta have some good white friends. But when I listened to the lyrics, I was like, "Oh, you saying you gonna go to hell for somebody? Oh hell no!" I was like, "But I'll listen to it. If I hear it on the radio, I'm not changing the dial.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it in." But it's like also like all right, nah, that's just weird. But it's so well written, and it's like also I appreciate that it was a part of his truth in that moment.
Right.
So as a songwriter, I'm really listening for vulnerability and truth.
That's,
a lot of
I
times
think,
when
key.
I can get it. It's like even if you're wrong, I can respect the fact that you really felt like that.
Yeah.
And you're like really communicating. Like I remember when the song Forrest Gump came out and everything by Frank Ocean, like a lot of my heterosexual friends they hit me up like, yo, this is the best song on the album and I'm conflicted. And I'm like, bro, it's just a good song. Like he's talking about his experience. He's up and like, but there was this whole juxtaposition where they were like conflicted about liking the song. And I'm like, bro, it's a good song. Like, it's so good of a song. You just gotta like it.
That opens up a whole nother category.
You cannot,
Before you even get there,
you cannot not like that song.
I'm not gonna let you just skate past.
No, for
call
real.
it just introducing my heterosexual friends as if like my white friends.
Oh yeah.
He's like all my
I'm
heterosexual friends.
I'm saying
like,
for context. Some of them were like, "Yo, this song
I know,
is
but it was
good."
just the way you said it was just like how black people grow up in the hood, and then they like after they go to college, it's like, well, these are my white friends.
My white friends. So my white friends said no.
Oh man!
Shout out to my white friends. I got some good white friends. Yeah. So it's like you don't have to agree with everything that you hear, but. Am I just gonna be listening to it over and over again and everything? Like, nah.
Yeah.
But I mean, could I say it's weird because again, if I'm going back to like maybe more the gangster rap that we just grew up with, I didn't put it in. It wasn't in this realistic category. It was just like adults talking about things that sounded cool, but I had no idea what it was about. So as you get older, you're kind of like, all right, you have so much music to choose from now. Why not just listen to things that I agree with? But I'm never gonna say that something is not beautifully written or artistic. Like all creativity comes from God. So however you use it, that's to your discretion. So like one of my favorite songs is "Sympathy for the Devil," Rolling Stones. It's so well written. That song, they can put it with any movie scene and it goes.
Man, I'm sorry, you can't. I've been able to divorce the art from the beliefs for a long time. The funny thing is,
that
beliefs.
opens the Chicago door.
Here's the thing, man. It's weird. I'm gonna have to separate these beliefs. Beliefs and morals are not the same thing.
Oh,
okay. Can you elaborate?
So
yeah,
I mean,
clearly they have a different definition. But what do you mean by that specifically?
Because I think my morals is what controls like me within my community, around the people around me, more so than my beliefs controls the inner parts of how I think in my mind. So like I think morals a lot of times is more likely to just control how I behave with other people or like things I do physically. Like morally, what I believe is right or what I don't believe is right, I will or will not do. Versus beliefs are instilled in my mind as far as like they're not necessarily saying what's right and wrong per se. They just kind of let me know that this is what you believe. You are now here to judge whether this thing you want to do or don't want to do or whatever is in line with your beliefs.
One's more malleable than the other,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
beliefs are a little bit more in the intellectual field, and the other one's in like your heart. The other one's like, yo, this is like my being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So like when I think about that, I'm just like, I'm not challenged on the spiritual level with and I associate that more with beliefs. I'm not challenged on spiritual level when it comes to certain songs. Like I can like songs that is seemingly meant to be presented satanic, even though if it's not. You know, like a lot of people, like, you know, Kirk Franklin had a whole problem with that performance of Unholy at the whatever something awards a month or two ago.
Okay.
You know, and unless you've been living on a rock, the song Unholy it's
a really good song.
Really great song. It's just basic.
But just, you know, lyric wise, like I will say the only credit I'll give them is that when I actually read the lyrics, they could have went way crazier.
Yeah.
They still were kind of
They actually made choices to be like,
yeah, they kind of held.
Let's not piss them off. Let's do it in the video, but not in the lyrics.
They were kind of like throwing soft punches and everything when it could have been this whole thing, because it's still, you have to actually be an adult to understand.
But the song's good.
But yeah, so chord wise, the song was very well just produced and everything and whatnot. But it's like, am I gonna have that on repeat? No. And stuff. It's just like, okay. And everything.
Yeah.
And again, that's not me necessarily saying that somebody else can. It's like, you just got to be confident in what you're going to do. So like, I have a playlist of songs. It's like, oh man, like, dude, I don't listen to this often and everything. But if it comes on the radio, I'm like, dang, this is just, I can respect it for the artistic level of creativity that went behind it. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is what I'm about. And
I got one for you, Calvin.
Ooh, please.
I'm so curious.
Please.
No Church in the Wild.
Oh,
thoughts on that? Feelings on that?
Again, that's also really well written. I love, and I think it comes from like a poem.
What's the problem people have with that song? Wait.
What's the problem to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Like literally just like, to somebody who's like, I confess that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? And like even suggesting the idea that suggesting the idea that you don't believe in God could trigger, you know, somebody who's like, no, absolutely not. Like, especially glorifying it in a way, you know what I'm saying, on a platform that could definitely read as somebody as like, to somebody as like, oh man, like the enemy is in that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people singing this that are feeling good about considering that there's not a God.
No, that was I think what was the chorus? It's like, what's a mob to a king? You know, human being to a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a God? What's a God to an unbeliever who doesn't believe in anything and whatnot? And so it's like it's a poetic like prose.
But it was did you read like?
Yeah, it's a hierarchy.
The hierarchy was the non-believer.
Yeah.
Well, and the way that he said, but he's also, he's not saying that the hierarchy, he's saying he's questioning, well, what does it mean? And because the thing is, there's an answer to that question.
Yeah.
A God to a non-believer is still a God. So it's like, you're not like unable to do that and everything. So I don't remember now, my ignorance on that is I don't remember what Jay-Z and Kanye were rapping in the actual verses.
I don't even.
And whatnot. But, you know, Frank Ocean, he just goes deep. And I think that was actually a poetic piece kind of taken from a literary work from another author that which he kind of turned into like different lyrics. I do not remember all the context to it, but you know, beat wise, again, it's like, it's interesting.
I think it's a slapper, but I'm curious.
I don't remember the verses though.
Yeah.
Like
I do remember hearing it off cuff and just being like, oh, like he's basically saying like, how you gonna trump me with that logic? Like, you know what I'm saying? When I don't even subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like, that's kind of, but you're right. He's posing a question. It is very poetic. It is very abstract to where you can't really conclude what he was saying.
Yeah. And then what's the second half is like, we'll make it out. All right. No church in a while.
No church in a while.
So are there people that actually experience that feeling or that emotion? Like, hey, I'm out here on my own and everything. Sure. Does that mean it's true? Not necessarily. So
bad religion.
Yeah, exactly. So
if it brings me to my knees, it's a bad religion.
Yeah, and you know, he has a lot of like songs like working with that and everything. So I can definitely, you know, and I think you have to with Ray Goshen, just like appreciate the artistic integrity. One, I never like the thing of I have to agree with everybody.
Right.
I don't. I can love you and disagree. You don't agree with your parents most times, and they birthed you. So I, a complete stranger, have to agree with you about everything? No, you can feel how you feel. I can judge it, have my opinion on it, and do your thing and whatnot. Like,
that brings me to another subject.
Ooh, please.
We ain't gonna talk about it today, but we're gonna have to talk about.
Oh Lord,
we might have to talk about this Neo stuff.
Is new Neo stuff?
The Neo stuff?
I don't even know, man. I'm scared.
Okay,
bro.
well, actually say that because I don't even know, and that's my guy, so I gotta get context. You know what I'm saying? Or what happened?
Man, it's about what side of you fence on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put it like this. He ain't say a lot of wrong stuff. Come at me if you want, but he didn't. I'm not necessarily agreeing with I'm not agreeing with what he said, but I'm not disagreeing why he said it. That is one of those joints. Like,
I don't even know what's going on. But that's one of my favorite artists and writers, so that's why I'm like,
I'll say this. I'll simplify it without saying it. He had an opinion on parenting when it comes to hormones and trans children. Right?
Okay.
So, and then, you know, after that, and on that podcast, his publicist put out a remark apologizing for that. Then the day after that, he went out, basically made it seem like his publicist was fired. It's like, I'm not apologizing for anything I said. It was just like, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I can have that. I
think that if we're in a country where we actually have a First Amendment and everything, then we should do things to, like, I'm okay with somebody disagreeing with me. And I really do want us to get to the point where it's like, oh, okay, he thinks like that. There is no human walking the face of this earth that you 100% agree with everything. That's not even a real thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's the standard of whether I'm gonna, this is kind of weird thing that kind of gets out there, and I'm love that we talk about this because I'll let people know I'm not gonna agree with everything about you. I don't agree with everything of my family members. I don't agree with everything.
I don't understand
the
point of that in the conversation. I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, that's why you live here.
Yeah. When you say live here, what do you mean? Sorry.
It's why you live in America.
Oh, okay.
You live in America.
Yeah, to actually have the freedom to express your different...
I'm not even not just the freedom of speech, but just, I mean, of course, the freedom of speech, but you're allowed to express that freedom in elections. You know, like, you're allowed to choose people to speak for you, choose people who represent you. And it's just like, you know, people get a lot of mad at, you know, certain politicians for doing certain things. I was like, well, that's why they're there.
I think it's one of those things where, you know, we overcorrect, like the pendulum kind of swings a little bit too far, and then it kind of evens itself out to where it's like
overcorrection is a huge thing, because the thing is we get to a point where it's like, oh, we fucked up. Yeah. We should never let this happen.
And then they just go too far with
and
it.
we go way crazy with it.
And then it's like, all right, well, we don't mean it.
And I'm
much.
Like, we didn't. I get it.
So I do all the time, especially, I mean, that's one of the things I've loved about living in New York and LA. I've had so many uncomfortable conversations with people to where we just disagreed about stuff, and it was like stuff that was like maybe heightened emotionally because of any political thing or any, you know, whatever thing you can imagine and stuff. And at the end of the day, it was just like, you know, hey, I just really focus on the thing. If you really think about it, we have a plethora of things as human beings that we actually agree on. Like 98% of the things we're probably actually agreeing on. There might be this 2% that we're like, well, I feel like this, I feel like that. So now we have to completely hate each other. And the thing is, something I really try to remind people and everything, because this happened right after, you know, Trump got elected, and some people didn't like that. Not trying to make this really political, but I said this to people. All that blocking y'all did of people who was saying different things, that didn't make them actually disappear. They still go and vote.
Yeah.
They still are, they're still here. So people just try to disengage with people or just cancel people because they don't feel exactly the way. They're not disappearing. Right. They're still going to be here. And if they're not on one side, they're going to be on the other side. So it's just like, since we're all here, I don't want to block people. I mean, now if you're disrespectful, that's one thing. But if you just have a different opinion than mine, then it's like, okay, no, I actually want you to see the stuff that I post. Because I want to, you know, at least be able to influence you to think a different way. I don't want to cut off. So now you're in this bubble of you're only going to hear or see posts from people who already think like you. Because people that think like you is not a makeup of America in and of itself. I mean, again, 98% of the things we agree on is human, 95 maybe. as human beings we agree on to a degree. And that 5%, man, we do super disagree.
I mean, it's very bad in that 5%. To the point where like, even what you're saying right now is an asterisk for me, only because, and it's not because what you're saying is wrong. What you're saying is right.
Yeah.
What's wrong is the technology.
Ooh,
so that's the thing.
So?
So what you're saying is right. We should not have to block people that we don't want to.
Oh no! I'm not saying that you should have to. I think that it was maybe.
But no, I'm saying that, but
people were doing it a lot.
That's what
I
people
don't agree
did
with this person.
Yeah, that's what
like,
people did. People block people to do that stuff like that only because the rhetoric of Trump incited violence. So the thing is, it wasn't a situation where you could have a Hillary versus Romney situation where like whoever lost, there was still going to be civility in the conversation no matter how angry they got. So.
I want to say I do get what you're saying. I was talking at a much lower tier.
Oh no.
Like
I know. I agree.
Like
I get what you're
if
saying.
My uncle says something and I don't agree, instead of maybe unsubscribing from his feed so I don't see it, I'm blocking him. So now when I post something, he can't even see that. And so now
you're talking about when it comes to affecting change.
I mean, some more so on an interpersonal level. But I do get what you're saying. That yes, that's not. So I wasn't.
My thing is,
that,
if it wasn't, if the algorithms did its job, which here's the thing, I actually think it does its job. We just don't understand it. The problem is, I know that too much of the technology is triggering for certain people, where some of them do need to block it because they don't know how to respond civilly. Like they don't know how to like
actually have a.
You know what they need to do. We just had I had a conversation with my wife about this. I think we were just like, you know what would be the greatest skill we need to teach kids these days? Like we need to teach this on a fundamental level. We talking about kindergarten. We need to teach. We have to put out a book and start wearing t-shirts that says, learn to agree to disagree.
Man. I swear.
But the thing, because have you noticed that the coming generations, I'm talking about you, Gen X's, I'm these Gen Zs, I'm sorry. No disrespect to Gen X. Gen Zs, I'm sorry. I'm not.
All the disrespect to Gen Zs, no disrespect to Gen X.
All disrespect.
All the disrespect to that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that. I'm not saying y'all overcorrect us. I'm not saying y'all too PC, but I'm just saying like, if anyone didn't learn, if any generation did not learn how to agree to disagree, it's that generation, unfortunately. Like, and I'm not trying to single y'all out. I'm just saying that skill set is necessary so you can have the next conversation. Have everyone notice that the conversations are ending faster once we get to the point of disagreement.
Don't you feel like maybe we set that precedent though? Because I want to give Gen Z the.
You know what? You're right. No, I'm not. Millennials are not.
Yeah,
they're not absolved.
Like they're more so.
Millennials are not absolved.
I ain't trying
to
wash my hands too quickly.
No, and millennials are not absolved of this. Yeah. And I have to put that out there. I'm a millennial myself. I'm not absolved of this.
Vintage millennial.
A vintage elder.
And Gen Z is also
elder.
Gen Z also has that charge of youth. Like I think that once Gen Z starts getting in the 30s and up realm, I think the energy is really going to shift. I just think that they are currently the charged up young people who are excited and outspoken. You know what I'm saying?
And like, youth normally controls the revolution. Youth always controls the revolution. So, and I'm not saying, and I don't want y'all to diet down to the point where like when there is a revolt that is needed in this world peacefully, I should say. I'm not, because that's treason. And if you say I'm not even lying. Did you know that's treason? To cite a riot, even on your podcast and shit.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Streets. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not. I mean, they're not gonna go accuse you of it.
I wanted to make a couple. Actually, were you not done with your point? My bad.
Oh no. I mean, that's basically my point with that. I'm just like, if we don't start teaching it again, like teaching it to a child. Is the basic thing, and you need to teach it to them on a fundamental level as far as how they communicate with others. Not necessarily with you, because obviously you run your house.
No,
so when they disagree with you, they be like, tough.
It was funny just to give an example of that, because that literally what you said. I'm not going to get specific, but I was talking to my sister. I think I told you guys, and at a certain point, I asked her for help with something, and she was like, "I disagree. I'm not going to help you with that." And I told her, I was up for like, well, that upsets me that you're not going to help me. And I feel like you're letting me down and you've let me down again. And she was like, oh, you're guilty me. You're guilty me. I was like, well, no, I'm just expressing how I feel. Like, you don't have to do it now.
Mhm.
Like, this is not like our relationship is over because you're not going to help me in the way I just requested. I'm just letting you know that I don't like it and telling you why.
And that goes along with the people.
And there's the thing, it's like, I'm perfectly fine with, that's it. We were on to the next topic. I was like, I'm not guilty. You don't got to do it. Like, I'm just letting you know I don't like it.
That goes to the point where a lot of people don't want people to be disappointed with them.
Yeah, I was no.
And I get it. It's a nice feeling.
I feel like she was maybe a recovering people pleaser in that moment. And it's like, no, it's okay for me to be upset about something. That's it. It's like,
it's hard.
I didn't like it.
And that's how you choose. You have to choose the right company when it comes to shit like that. You have to understand, like, you have to have people around you that are, I should say, emotionally mature enough.
Yeah, that's the thing.
To understand that your lack of availability or willing availability to do anything is not a result of the fact that they won't be here tomorrow.
Yeah, and that was kind of, it was actually I'm actually glad it happened because it was like a thing of like, I was like, no, I almost had to give her the right. It's like, no, it's okay for you not to do it, and it's okay for me to be upset by it. Yeah, let's just talk about the next. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. That's how I know I married the right woman, because she, like, you can, how mad she would get at some of the stuff that I do or say or whatever. It's ridiculous, but she don't stay mad longer than 7 minutes.
Yeah. That's fine. That's great.
No,
it's about, it'd be like, I'll be coming back and a half an hour later talking about this. I was like, no, I'm still like, you still talking about this shit?
I ain't gonna lie. I've actually counted. It's hard. Like, I used to get mad. It's hard for me to stay upset longer than 30, 40. I gotta try. Because after that, it's just like, I just have so many, I had real things go on in my life to where it's like, okay, I gotta really be upset. So somebody else's opinion or anything like that, like, if it's not like a very serious matter,
right?
It's just like,
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
To be, upset with people, because it's not, dissonance is not natural. It's not a natural thing for the human body. It's something you experience.
Strife is
just like
trash.
Pain is not necessarily natural, but your body gets accustomed to it.
Yeah,
to the point where some people just has a higher tolerance of pain,
tolerance,
physically, emotionally, mentally. Like, just some people that can take some shit. There's people like me, like when they found out Kobe died, just like fell out on the floor of the gym. Versus when other people who found out Kobe died, who I thought were bigger fans than I was just like, man, life's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was that's kind
of how are you not torn to the floor of your gut? How have you?
I processed that.
And I was just
weird.
like, everybody got a different level of pain tolerance, and I haven't built up that pain tolerance when it comes to loss of an idol, because I never lost an idol. Like, I didn't consider Michael Jackson an idol.
Okay, quick thing just about that. When I was in New York, like Times Square, when that was announced, craziest thing, you see people of all languages on their phone. Y'all know, there's all languages around you.
I know we're in a PC world, but look, we weren't making fun of nobody.
I'm not scared. I'm making fun of everybody. I was making
we
fun
don't
of
know
English.
what language he was trying. That was the universal language of the world.
Whatever. So
he was every language
everybody
all at once.
was exactly. So it was freaky watching around and seeing it, but I didn't cry. And I think this was funny. But I knew it was like painful and everything. I think I was just trying to be all brave. And then I think like maybe 2 weeks later, I was in the car and that Kanye West, Carrie Hilson song came on. And he said, like, this is bad, real bad, Michael Jackson. When I tell you, I started bawling. I cried so deeply. My God. I was just like,
I loved Michael Jackson. I didn't
so
cry
crazy
when he died.
to me.
I had moments of silence. I had feelings, and I went through the motions a little bit. But I didn't shed a tear, really. I
had such dynamic feelings. So we got tickets to his final shows at the O2 Arena. Yeah, so I honestly, my initial impact was like all of, like, when I tell you I was,
am I gonna get my refund?
I don't, no, not even that, because I didn't pay for it. But but like, I think for me, I don't think I've ever been looking forward to something more than that concert. Dang. So I think initially it was like almost a selfish sadness of like, Dang, I finally was about to see him. Just to let you guys know, Michael Jackson's my probably biggest idol of all time. So it was like selfishly first. And then I had to set in like the gravity of like, oh, this is like a real person. This isn't just Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
First thing you was like, shit, I can go to the show.
Yeah, I was upset, bro.
I think that's
like,
what it
I'll tell you,
was.
we had all of the computers in the SDSU computer room all trying to buy tickets to the Michael Jackson concert.
Yeah,
like the minute they went on sale, we already had Ticketmaster up on like 25 different computers. We was on a rolly chair.
Y'all was some scammers.
We was rolling from computer to computer.
No, they were dedicated.
Buy. And we only got through on 2 computers.
Jeez.
Because we were trying not to get those resale prices.
Sure.
But like, I mean,
talk
about investing your hope and your faith into something.
Oh, Lord.
Man, like it bro, it was devastating for sure. But,
I didn't have a lot of regrets when it came to. I mean, I never wanted to see Michael Jackson live, so it didn't affect me. I didn't have a lot of regrets when it came to Kobe because at that point I had seen him play like probably at least 3 times at that point.
I saw him play like really quickly when I came to LA. Actually,
I was in the bar.
Unless I'm tripping.
Yeah.
No. He was there. It was like the first game when I moved to LA, like 3 days in. I got to see him play, thankfully, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wanted to tie it back to the
please.
music and the trigger conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
I personally feel like I'd be remiss to not mention Lupe Fiasco, Words I Never Said, when it comes to triggering songs that are like, I would more so, it didn't trigger me per se, but like, I think that was to me one of the best examples of like a nuanced song where I was like, ooh, I agree with that. Wait, I don't agree with that. But dang, but then he tied it back over, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, that was like a great example of a triggering song. But then the whole chorus is, you know, it's so loud inside my head with words that I could have said. As I drown in my regret, I can't take back the words I never said. You know what I'm saying? And like the last verse, he's like, I think that all the silence is worse than all the violence. Fear is such a weak emotion. That's why I despise it. You know, like he kind of breaks it down like, I actually think that you should say triggering shit. You know what I'm saying? That
and
people
that's what I do, guys.
Would you?
That's why I do what I do, guys.
I
say triggering things.
You know what? And if I had to say it was mine, like I don't consider Oliver Anthony's songs triggering. Okay, and I'm gonna just point out right now, just so people don't know, if you don't know, he came out to say that, you know, it's very clear in his lyrics that it is about the men north of Richmond. It's an anti-capitalist situation. And also, he also made a point that after the Republican GOP debate, he said, I was talking about them fools on the stage.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to say that like, oh, that means he must feel this way. Like, no, because I feel like he would have said the same thing if the incumbent was, a Republican president.
I believe you because, the thing that when I've seen him talk about it afterwards and whatnot, he doesn't like being put into a box of like, oh, I'm left or right. He's like, no, I'm he's like, I'm on this anti-capitalist thing that goes both ways, but he does have some conservative value. Every time you see him in an interview, he's reading the Bible.
Well, the thing is,
and he's like, makes it a point to do that.
And I just don't understand what happened in part. Like, for one, we need to make Republican great again. I'm gonna say that right. I mean, we need to.
You're a whole pundit now. Okay,
we need to make it great again because the thing is, we not getting the whole conversation anymore. We are just getting arguments. We're getting literally fights with words when it comes to politicians anymore. We're not getting ideas. We're not getting forward movement. I mean, we're not gonna go super political with that. But they need to make it great again because the thing is, they're trying to capitalize on this other dude who decided I'm going to just incite rage to win this. And then I'm just going to use this base as a way to motivate, you know, everything I need forward until it clearly backfired on him. And all he wanted was a TV show.
That's so funny. It's just weird because like, and again, not getting political and everything, but the one thing that I think that the singer was kind of pointing out and whatnot, it's like, it's not like this one side is great and the other side isn't. It's like, oh, okay, well, not him, but the other guy. Really, the other guy? Just because he's not him? It's like, hold up. That's the thing. I cannot put, the whole thing is making sure you're not just making it like it's kind of going for what you said earlier. I don't know if we said this on tape, but just that I wish that third party would just appear to where you
I do
can
wish
just
it would
like
appear
actually be
because
more of an
I don't-
independent and have just common sense logic. Like, hey, I agree with this side on some things. Hey, I agree with that side on some things. But it's feel like you just have to
I
pick
don't
a
know how
choice, and it's annoying.
it's hard for party politics to work for based on what they need to happen as far as electorals and things like that. Even though I think that shit should be done. I don't know why we doing electoral colleges.
Hey, real quick,
but,
non-political triggering songs.
Wait, and that non-political. I was going to say it because this was an episode. This was a whole ass.
This was a one.
There's a whole ass thing. But I'm gonna say mine is just like on the Ye album.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'm sorry.
there is a song.
What track number is the song called?
Number 1.
Oh, dang.
It's kind of dope produced, and it's always that forward thinking, push it forward, Kanye West musical style. Like, just give us something we ain't had. Let's try it out. I love it. So I love the song, but the song is like, I thought about killing you. Premeditated.
Oh,
murder.
that one. Okay, the intro.
Talk about how he loves himself, or more, I love myself too much for this, that, to that. So I, to that end, I would still kill you because I love myself more than anything. And I thought about killing myself, so I damn sure would kill you if I would kill myself. And I'm like, damn, this conflicts with how I feel about things, but it's all good. Like
That's a really great example, because I think I had that same response. It's like, I appreciate like artistic creativity and like being able to say it, and also like where the reason why I would promote people actually getting their emotions out in this way is because it's the healthiest way. And I think that people bottling things up inside, dark thoughts or whatever, is how they actually manifest into reality, as opposed to expressing them. This is a very maybe I don't want to say weird, but at least non-traditional thing to say. And it was like, I think he gave you space to kind of understand what he was meaning. And if you didn't, it's like, okay, well, did he actually commit a crime by talking about a crime?
But my thing is like, it's almost felt like therapy for those who needed it. It was, not for him. It was
well,
almost.
I think it was therapy for him too.
But
it was definitely for him.
No, it's definitely for him. But I was just like,
Hopefully.
I'm gonna give you a different way of thinking about that song. Think about that song as Ye is your subconscious.
Yeah.
So these are the words that come to your subconscious subconsciously, meaning you don't have control of these words.
Right.
And then it's just like, at that point, once you have these words in your head, now you have to think about, have I ever thought this way?
Oh yeah, and that's
and also like, do you feel safe in the privacy of your own mind to be like, allow these thoughts?
No,
I think that's the whole moral of the story right there.
Literally.
Though. Do you feel safe in your own mind to say, like, I had these thoughts? Because even in the context of religion, right? God, Jesus is not calling us to be perfect.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He said, in me, you know what I'm saying? You are made perfect, or you are made new. So it's not like God is like punishing you for having wild thoughts and, and expressing that. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard it said a really while ago. I love the way it said. It's like, hey, thoughts are like birds. You can't stop one from flying over your head, but you can damn sure stop it from like putting a nest there. It's like if you just like no, swat it off. You have thought, you have control over the thought just
That's good.
coming through and everything. So what I loved about it is the vulnerability and showing that like, hey, yeah, I have these thoughts. And anybody that can judge them, whether they admit it or not, has had bad or not pleasant or not socially acceptable thoughts in their head as well. Nobody is immune from this. You in this human body, you're gonna have a crazy thought. And so it's like interesting. Like, I appreciate him going there and again, maybe giving other people I'll say this, a lot of people who've actually committed murder, had they actually expressed the thoughts that they were having, it might not have gone that further. Because it like words and actually expressing things can be a release valve of the pressure of the emotions and everything that are inside of you.
Yeah.
And so, if nothing else, I hope he gave permission for other people to be honest. Like, hey, I had these thoughts and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's a real thing that really happened.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go away because it's not pleasant.
You know a song that I'm thinking of that, like, if I'm honest, was triggering and I love it? is Jazmine Sullivan, I'm in love with another man.
I don't know the song.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We can't continue this conversation without you knowing that song because it's gonna, bro. When I tell you, I listened to that song and I'm like, this is the most beautiful, passionate shit. I shed tears to that shit, and I fundamentally disagree with everything she's saying.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, but boy, she expressed that shit. I can't believe. Oh my God, can we pull it up real quick?
Yeah.
We're gonna get flagged.
No. I mean, we just edit this and everything.
Yeah, we can edit this out.
We go run and listen to "I'm in Love with Another Man" by Jazmine Sullivan.
Sang her ass off though. I listened to that shit. I'm just like, this ain't the most toxic shit I ever heard.
Well,
but
no. Okay, so we just listened to the song, y'all. "I'm in Love with Another Man" by Jazmine Sullivan. I personally think it's anti-toxic. I think that she is somebody who, actually, let me say that better. She is being toxic to herself instead of somebody else.
That's kind
of, so like, she realizes that like, hold up, this is not right. And I'm over here and everything. And I am chasing an emotion, but she's being honest with the person and herself about it. And so like, it's probably not going to work out well for her. But I mean, I can respect the fact that in that song, this is not me saying that, you should not think that it's deplorable, because to a degree it is. And it's like, we've lived enough life to know how this woman is going to turn out. Right. It's not going to go well.
Yeah.
And I'm just not, you can lie to yourself if we want, but I've just seen this happen too many times. Like, all right, good luck. So, but I appreciate the fact that she's being kind of real about it.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you listen to it, you like, yo, she's saying some raw shit. And I get it. And I can tell it's true. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't agree with the logic. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I remember hearing it for the first time and like halfway rolling my eyes, but halfway shedding a tear. You know what I'm saying? So just speaking to that conflict of like, I love this. This is so good, but I don't agree with it. Well, in a way, because to your point, I do agree with the fact that it's like, be honest with yourself and where you are. You know what I'm saying? But like, all in all,
well, I'm glad that you brought up that song because it's just beautiful and I haven't heard it in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted on that one. Like, I'm glad that it's written and everything because people could, again, it's. I'll say I put it under. I put it under a thing like this. That's an uncomfortable truth. And honestly, if I'm being honest, that's the truth that most people will not ever actually admit to themselves or anybody else.
Right.
They will just go on and be like, oh, all men are dogs. Like, nah, baby, you like dogs. And you found men who were dogs.
Tell them,
because all men ain't dogs.
Right?
You like dogs.
What is it about women that just like?
Yeah. And another thing is like, what I love about this song is at least she's admitting it. She's like, he don't always read me right. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
But and there's this, she's not doing it for no reason. She's like, but when I'm with him, I feel X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. And we know enough about women to know to like, they gotta make him feel good.
Right.
So there was something maybe lacking in the guy that he doesn't want to admit or he's not aware of. And that's or she's just not for him.
And that's in the subtext for sure.
Yeah. I know one thing. When it comes, we going on too long with this. Man, but I'm gonna say one thing just with that when it comes to that story, because this is off we just tangented out. So we just accept
this rabbit hole studios.
We're accepting the tangent at this point. But like when it comes to that stuff, I was like, whatever you want,
man,
you gonna get.
Right.
Man.
But at what cost?
Man.
Like when it comes to relationships, like, oh, you want this and this and that, oh, you go get that. Oh, you want that dude that look like this to do that, or you want that dude that got this bank account to drive this. It's like, you gonna have that. Because the thing is, when you manifest long enough, your body will put you around these Negroes all the time. And you be like, I don't understand why every time I find a good man, he end up some ain't shit or something like that. And we just go back to quote the great Cat Williams and say,
I'm ready for that.
And he's just like, it's like all niggas ain't shit, just ain't shit niggas. You need to understand what it is about your proverbial area down there that keeps attracting ain't shit niggas? And it might be the fact that the things you want are the strong characteristics of ain't shit niggas.
Well,
They're the strong characteristics of fuckboys. I mean, like, the thing is, you're going to end up with what you want if you don't understand why you want it.
I love that.
So,
2 quick things I'll say because I love what you said so much, but then we can wrap it up.
well,
To that, I always try to make a difference between, there's this thing people say, oh, you attract who you are and everything. I don't believe that. I believe you entertain who you are.
Mhm.
Because like a woman could be at a gas station, a homeless guy could come up. No, if you look halfway decent, you're attracting guys, period.
Right.
It has nothing to do with who you are. No.
Yeah.
If you got legs, and even if you don't, they'll make an exception.
Right.
You breathing. And even sometimes if you don't. I've seen web cases.
Mhm.
But if you're entertaining them,
Mhm.
that's a reflection of who you are. Or
Exactly.
maybe not who you are ultimately, but who you are at that moment, yes. If you're entertaining trash, you trash. In that moment. You might not be trash later.
Yeah.
In that moment, you're entertaining it. So, hey, you're down.
I mean, like, shout out to, our girl, Danny Lay, boy.
No, I can't talk about her. I can't talk about her.
We
No,
all know.
love
We
her.
all-
God bless her. She's
we
going
love
to do good.
We
She's
love
gonna do
we
good.
love her. We
And-
love her.
And the
But it's just like, it's certain decisions. She was just like, I know you ain't shocked. I know you not shocked. I know
she's
you
gonna
not
be. She's
shocked.
gonna be good. Well, the other thing
She
I was
already good. She
No,
already
yeah,
good.
she
She
is.
already good. I'll follow her. She
No,
she doing fine. But it's just like we go through these things. They're called lessons.
Yeah.
You go through it, but it's just
No,
like,
but to your point, I just want to make to the other point you said because it was so good. Like you said, you get what you want. I heard somebody say this a while ago, and it's so dope. They were like, "There's 2 tragedies in life: getting what you want, or not getting what you want, and getting what you want, and then realizing like, snap." It wasn't everything I thought it was going to be cracked up to be.
It's that's exact truth. I feel bad for some of these girls out there that have that because it's they be good women, but and they just like, why not? I'm just as human as everybody else. Why I can't have these things? I'm just like, yeah, but you got to understand that what package, what packaging. I don't want to say that.
No. It's a thing.
What I
I
want to
think
say.
that
I want to say. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say. I don't want to put everybody. I don't overgeneralize. I'll just say this. It's just like, look. Unfortunately, I'm not the person that always subscribes to the love at first sight or soulmate situation like that. I believe that they exist. I just don't subscribe to that. It's 8 billion people on this earth. That's probably not going to be your experience. So love in most cases is going to be trial and error for you. It's up to you to learn from each trial. That's up to you. I mean, like the reason why we got cures for diseases is because they had trials
and errors.
I'm just like, and errors. It was like, oh, well, that killed them. So, like before they even do the human trials, they doing on mice. It was like, how did 7-1B go out? It was like, they're all dead.
Oh, too much red number 40.
God, all right. So too much red 40.
Cut it in half this time for the next one.
I don't know, but you know what? It's been an episode. It's
been an episode.
We've been all over the place.
Golly.
All I'm saying is that I personally, I can get over it. I can separate the art from the beliefs and the morals if it's good. Some things are just undeniable, and I believe that Oliver Anthony's song is undeniable because you feel something.
Yeah,
when you hear it, you feel it. The reason why people responded is because they felt it.
That part. That might have been. Is that because of his performance, though?
I mean, even so,
whatever it is,
was amazing.
But something had to drive the performance, though.
That's what I'm saying. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the catalyst of the performance is like it's going to be not. It's not always about skills because let's keep it real. It wasn't like he was in the high skill department. He has a talent that we don't even know if he's really even nurtured. Like who knows who he's been singing in front of his life. You know what I'm saying? Who knows who's taking him seriously? I don't know his life story. I can tell just by listening to him perform. I'm just like, well, he's not fully refined as a musician and stuff like that. And that's what makes it better. It's just like this is not coming from this well-crafted,
polished, PC thing. It's actually, if anything, it's like
it's coming from a place was just like this song was on my heart. And it came out that way. And I can relate to that because we've had episodes where I've just like, I don't write a lot of songs myself as far as like when I do lyrics and melody to the end and stuff like that. I don't do it all that often. I do more production, melody, and harmonic stuff. And lyrics, I help out depending on who we're working with.
Mhm.
But every now and then, I do write a song. But as you know, all of my songs come out emotionally charged.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't listen to them much after I write them, unless they have purpose for some other artist.
Right.
So, and that's how I relate to him. I was like, oh, this was on his soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't care what party line he was towing, which he turned out to be not.
He's like, I don't like none of y'all.
Yeah, basically, he's just like, all y'all the problem,
Y'all
dude.
the problem. I don't. Did you listen to the
bad-
lyrics?
He was just like, this is why y'all the problem. Ain't none of y'all listening.
None of y'all
Like,
listening.
Ain't none of y'all listening. And I'm like, we done. We talked to y'all. He's Calvin the second.
I'm from Detroit.
He from Detroit.
That's funny.